This is Michael, the host of the WDYM podcast. You ever hear an episode and want to give your 2 cents? Now you have that option with the text and talk. In each episode description up at the top, you see the option for text and talk. Hit that link, start texting, and I'll start talking. Be a part of the WDYM podcast and start text and talking with me.
You're listening to the WDYM, the What Do You Mean podcast, Hamilton's #1 podcast. Now sit back and relax. Here's Hamilton's own Michael Gillespie.
Welcome to the WDYM. I'm your host, Michael Gillespie, as Kobe said. How you guys doing? Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody is doing well. This episode is a recap of week 1 in Ohio high school football. It just started this past Friday. And yes, we have a game to discuss. You know, the big game in Hamilton. Hamilton versus Badin 7. This is the 7th time these two schools in Hamilton has played each other. And it's still wild to me that I'm saying that. But again, I'm glad that it's still happening because it's just such a good thing for the city to see the two schools in our city going against each other, because every game has a story, and this one does too. But first, we have to talk about senior living and the ways to avoid conversation. That's how I'm putting it. The ways to avoid conversation. So lately, I've had this lady who stops me every time she sees me. Every time she sees me, she has to stop me and tell me a story or something to that nature, where we have a conversation where it is 10 minutes too long. You get what I'm saying? This lady has stopped me within the past couple weeks 3 times to talk to me about nonsense, or I have come across her wilding out on somebody, and it has to be talked about because it's driving me nuts a little bit. So the first time this lady stops me in the hallway, she gives me 1 can of soup. She gives me 1 can of turtle soup, right? So initially, when I get this can of soup, I'm thinking to myself, like, is this real turtle soup? Did she just give me something that the shredder couldn't do, is put the turtles in a can and serve it for food or something? I'm like, am I cooking Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Raphael? I know this ain't real turtle soup. And it could be a fake turtle soup. But she gives me the can of soup. She's like, can you make us turtle soup with 1 can of soup? Now, realistically, I'm not making this soup. 1, she only gave me 1 can. 2, it's not from an authorized distributor. And 3, it just seems disgusting, the idea of making turtle soup. So she gives me the can. She's like, I think you should make it for everybody. Everybody would love it. And blah, blah, blah. So I'm looking at this can. I was like, well, trying to be nice. Like, well, you only gave me 1 can, and I don't think this will be enough to feed 80, 90 people or whoever comes down. And she's like, well, you could just take it and expand on it. I'm like, okay, well, I will think about it. And then I walk away. You don't know how many times people give me stuff to cook for them, or a pan to cook for them. When we have meatloaf, and I'm used to having a meatloaf pan. I'm used to having a pan, a thin pan, so I could, stack my meatloaf in and everything. So I make the meatloaf in a hotel pan, and sometimes it falls apart. It doesn't cool off enough for me to cut it. When I start cutting, it comes undone. This, that, and the other. Sometimes it comes off crumbly and all that stuff. And then, when I go out and do the meet and greets and table touches and all that stuff, I always ask, how was the food? The food was great, but the meatloaf fell apart. And it's like, well, chef, what are you going to do about it? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'll try to fix it, I don't know what you want me to say at this juncture, because at the end of the day, I'm just making sure the food is good. So yeah, she drops off the turtle soup with me, and I go about it. The second time I've come across her, she was up there talking to somebody, and then she started cussing. So when she was cussing, she kept saying the same word over and over again. Beach, 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 beach. Again, remember, this is a G show. I don't be cussing and all that stuff, right? So she just keeps saying beach, 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 beach. And I stopped her and said, ma'am. I said, ma'am, you don't got to be cussing like that. And she looks at me like I'm crazy. And I continue walking. Well, then I hear her motorized scooter. She's following me. And you can hear as it gets closer. I was like, oh, shoot, she's trying to run me over. And she's like, excuse me. Like, she's mad at me for stopping her cursing. Like, you shouldn't be cursing. Rightfully so. You shouldn't be cursing in public like that. She's like, excuse me, sir. I recall shows from my time that would let people say beach all the time. And here's where the story goes a little bit to the left. And she's like, well, there was this one show where there was a Negro, and she says that, right? So once she says that, I completely just turn into just like, oh boy, here we go. And I'm just like listening to her, but not listening to her, like just nodding my head. Cause she went to back in the day, I used to watch this Negro show. I'm like, well, which Negro show was it? And she's like, oh, I can't remember. And I'm like, oh Lord. And when they start that, it's like, I just tune out, because like, I don't even want to hear where this is going. Cause this either can go bad or really bad. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to know where you're going with this. So at this time, I completely zone out and let her talk about this show, which I'm assuming was Sanford and Son. But I just didn't, when they start with this, and then when they start off and they talking, and then they say Negro, the Negro show or something like that, it's like, I don't want to hear what she has to say. So again, that interaction happened, and it was just weird because I don't want to hear what she had to say. The third time she came up to me, and she was like, she pulled up in her motorized scooter, and she says, when are you going to make us liver and onions? I said, me? She said, yeah, you promised us, point her finger, got her old finger out and pointed it at me. She said, you promised us liver and onions. And I know for a fact I didn't promise that at all. Because I hate liver and onions. I despise the smell of liver and onions. Back then, one of my former cooks, Judah, we used to talk about this all the time. It's like, we used to cook liver and onions for them all the time. And I would tell Judah, like, look, I don't do liver and onions, okay? Chef or no chef, I can't stand the smell of liver and onions. I can't do it. If you want to cook it, Judah, and satisfy them, I'll do it on a day that I'm off, and so I don't have to smell it. You get what I'm saying? And he would do it. He's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. And he did it like one time. So back to this story, she was in her finger in my face, like, you promised us liver and onions. I said, okay, all right. So I go up to her and I talk to other people. I say, hey, did I ever promise you guys liver and onions? And then the idea of liver and onions must take over their brain because they like the idea of eating liver and onions. They're like, yes, you did. Chef, you promised us liver and onions. I said, I did. I said, that's weird because I hate liver and onions. I will never, to this day, I will never, not on purpose, never cook liver and onions. Never. I will never cook it. So I kept asking people, and some people was like, nah, you never said that. But majority of them said, yeah. So I wanted to stand on the tables and get everybody's attention. Attention, people, elderly people of this facility. I, Michael Gillespie, has been told that I said I will cook you guys liver and onions. This is what I want to do. And I want to get them all excited. Like, yeah. Like, these chef's going to make us liver and onions. Because most of the times that I cook something, they like it. They like most of the things I cook. And I want to get them so excited. Again, this is I want. I won't do this. I will never do this. But I will be like, I want to get them all excited about, like you promised us liver and onions. And they all get, all excited like, when are you going to make us liver and onions? And I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen of this facility, I will never cook you liver and onions. I hate the smell of liver and onions. So you could take that idea and throw it away because I will never, ever cook liver and onions for you. I don't care. I won't do it. I will make up any excuse not to do it. I just can't stand the smell, let alone cook it where it's still the aromatics of it. It's still going to be in the kitchen. I can't. I won't. I will never, ever cook liver and onions for any facility. If I'm not even going to cook it at home, what's the odds of me cooking it at work? I'm going to tell you, never, ever, ever will I cook liver and onions. So I don't know what she got today. I'm pretty sure she got me and Judah confused, which is still, it's funny that I say that because me and Judah are two very different people, and it just goes to that stereotype that all black men are the same, or we can't tell the difference between two black guys, whatever. Not the case here. Judah's taller than me. Judah got better skincare than me. Judah's just, he's a different person altogether. Like there's no way you could get us mixed up. There's no way. But I'm pretty sure this lady did. But needless to say, I will never make you liver and onions. Okay? Great conversation. So, the main topic today is we had the first week of Ohio high school football. Now, I know that a lot of you guys are from Ohio, right? And I got friends from Texas, Florida, Georgia, Pennsylvania, that all can say, hey, our state has the best high school football. And I'm going to say you're wrong. I want to say Ohio has the best high school football. Now, we all know Texas likes to build their stadiums, and what I've been coming across lately is that Texas high schools are putting millions into Texas high school football stadiums. And they are immaculate. They look great. But you never hear from, well, I shouldn't say you don't hear from these programs. It's just that I've never invested into them. Ohio has the best high school football. I can't say otherwise. I can't say it doesn't otherwise. I've been to Georgia, and I've seen the rivalry in Valdosta, Georgia, with Louds County. Oh, and the Valdosta Wildcats itself. It's a great game, great atmosphere and everything, but nothing comes close to Ohio. In my book, nothing comes close to Ohio. And to bring it even closer to home, nothing compares to my school. I love Hamilton. I love Hamilton High. I love the Bulldogs. I love everything about the history of Hamilton. As documented, I have talked about Hamilton football for numerous episodes. And even the rivalry we have with Badin. Badin is our Catholic school rival. And, anytime you bring up Hamilton high school football or Ohio football in general, you're going to talk about Badin. In some aspect of it, you're going to talk about Badin. And back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, it was all about Badin. It's all about Badin, and rightfully so. Badin is elite. It's an elite school, in my opinion. Elite football program that was led by the great Terry Malone. Terry Malone was the coach for Hamilton Catholic, which is now Badin. He was one of the winningest high school coaches in Ohio, and he had a way of playing the game of football really, really well. And so in the 1980s, the Hamilton Badin games started. 80, 81. And then we took a 20-year break and started it up back in 1999, 2000. Take another 20, 23 years, come back in 2023, 2024, and 2025. Now, I don't think I talked about the games in 2023, 2024, and 2025. Needless to say that Badin has dominated this rivalry recently, with wins in 1980, 1981, 2000, and 2023. Last year was a win for Big Blue on the road, quote unquote, at Badin, which was in Fairfield, Ohio. Long story short, Badin doesn't have its own stadium. They've never had their own stadium. They've always used other people's stadiums. And that's the way it's always been. So last year, it was a dominant performance by Hamilton, getting the win over Badin and beating them. I think it was 15-0. 15-0. Hamilton's getting their first shutout of Badin, making the series more interesting. It was then 4-2. So the momentum, you would say, it was on Hamilton's side because last year's win and a successful season, it just seemed like things were going in the right direction for Hamilton against this rivalry with Badin, because again, we don't play that often. It's again 7 times since 1980. So I mean, that says it right there. So heading into 2025, there was still a good mix of players from last year and players that were coming up to play Badin this year. Now, again, I don't talk about kids. Before we even get into the game, I don't talk about kids. Like, if they are young and, they don't, they're just doing what they're supposed to do. And I don't like going after the kids like that. That ain't it. I don't do that. This is a celebration of a rivalry game. And these are kids. So, it ain't fair for me to say he did this and he didn't do that, blah, 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 blah. So, as planning the game, getting ready to go to the 2025 version of the Hamilton versus Badin game, I believe in energy, right? I believe in certain energy, karma, whatever you want to call it. There's got to be certain things put in place so the energy is right. Call me weird about it, right? There were certain things that caught my attention before the season even started, before the game even started. I'm on Twitter, X Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and you just see the kicker doing his thing. You see the quarterback coming up doing his thing. You see the running back doing his thing. You see the defense doing their thing. It's like, this team is ready. This team they just look like they are locked and loaded to do some good this season, right? Do some real good this season. It's like, this might be the most momentum Hamilton's had in a very long time, where they're consecutively winning. They're winning, 7-3, 8-2 seasons, constantly going to the playoffs. They're representing Hamilton in a good light. And there's no other way to start than starting with Badin. But like I said, energy is a certain thing, right? You just believe there's energy out there that has to be straight. Number one, so there's things that I noticed about the game that caught my attention. Number one was the media. Like, there was so much media with the kids from Hamilton. Now, this might be my fault because I'm looking for this energy. I'm looking for, like, how are they responding, how are they talking, and all this stuff. And I just see so much stuff online. It's like, yo, these kids are ready. They are so ready to do some good stuff this year. And I just see a lot of media, and it's like, oof, because back in the day, Coach Menery, he was like, no, we ain't talking to the media at all. He would shut it down. He said, no, we ain't talking to the media at all. Let the game talk. So I'm like, okay, that's an energy thing. It was like, all right, maybe we're getting too far ahead of ourselves. I'm like, whatever. So that was number one. Like the media energy, it was there, but it was like, I'm a little nervous about it. Number two, special jerseys. The team Hamilton Big Blue. That's the team's nickname, right? You're expecting the blue jerseys, or maybe they want to be like, hey, we wore white last year. Maybe we continue to wear white this year. Okay, blue or white. Those would have been acceptable acceptable colors to wear in a rivalry game. We pull up into the stadium, me and my wife, and I see the black jerseys. Like, ooh, the black jerseys, they look cool. They look really cool. But this to me is energy. Like, this is not the energy we were projecting. I mean, this is just my opinion. We are Hamilton Big Blue. We should be wearing blue jerseys. I don't, energy. It's just an energy thing for me. And so I'm like, ooh. Like, I don't know why I'm wearing black jerseys. My wife's like, chill out, it's cool. It's, it ain't nothing like that. And all the media and the shots on Twitter, they're all wearing their black jerseys. I'm just like, energy. Energy's not right. Just got this feeling the energy's not right. Then the third thing, the game actually starts. And Hamilton defers, which is cool. That's nothing wrong with that. The game started. As soon as the game starts, Badin takes the kickoff straight to the house for a touchdown. Immediately, the game starts 7-0. And it's like, ooh, energy. The energy has just spiked in Badin's favor. But I will say this. Hamilton is loaded. Hamilton is loaded with talent. And it's just, if Hamilton can bring it together. So, as the game plays and you can see the energy, the defense, the offense, everything is working well for Blue and for Badin. And, it's a back and forth game for a while, and Hamilton has the lead at halftime, 14-10. And the defense is playing lights out. The offense is slow and staggering, but it's the first game. It's the first game, and you got all these new pieces that are trying to figure this thing out, which comes back to my first thing of energy. The energy is there. It's just the connections of it, the connectivity of it, all that stuff is not there yet, and you can see it. Halftime comes and third quarter comes, and this was the funny thing. My wife was sitting there like, "Oh my God, this is the longest quarter in high school football history," and I tend to agree. That third quarter was very long, and part of the reason why is because Badin made the adjustments and just basically came out with a killer mentality. Basically, ran up the score. So they beat him for the fifth time. The final score was, I believe it was 38-20. And this is now the seventh game is concluded. And it's now a 5-2 lead for Badin. Seeing the boys a little dejected. Again, we left about 4 or 5 minutes left in the game. And as we're leaving, Badin scores again to cement the win. And it's like, it's frustrating. As a fan of Hamilton, it is frustrating to know that last year you put up a solid defense performance, a great offense performance, a shutout win, all the momentum, and yet Badin beaten us for the fifth time. They have beaten us.
Oh my God, again. Oh my God! No, it's so over. No.
And like, I always, when this happens, when Badin wins this game against Hamilton, minus the 81 games because wasn't born yet and everything. 2000. Understand why the 2000 game, why they won. Again, it was Tommy Puma. Tommy Puma scored every point in that game to win the game practically by itself. 2023 game was just a dominant performance by Badin. And now this game was the adjustments game. The adjustments that they made by Coach Nick Yordy of Badin just proved to be too much. And it's always, and that's what happens. It always feels like Hamilton's one step behind. And so it is now 2-5, 5-2, whatever you want to call it. I was reaching out to some of the parents of the kids that play. And some of them are, dejected, especially some of the seniors. They would be dejected, and obviously so. They 1-2, depending on when they play in and everything. They're 1-2 against Badin, and that's it. They can't play Badin no more. And they're dejected. And probably the team is dejected because I'm pretty sure that they felt like they had a chance. And the scores indicate that they did have a chance, just it wasn't put together. The energy wasn't put together like I want and like the team wanted. But what needs to be said is they need to eat this. They need to eat this loss. And you may ask yourself, like, what does that mean? What does that mean exactly? It means you take that into next week. Yes, you lost to the Badin Rams. There's no real shame in that. Frustrated, yes, but there's no shame in losing to a team that goes to the playoffs almost every year, right? Badin has a high-quality team, so there's nothing to be disappointed about. What I will say is eat it. Eat this loss and carry it with you next week when you play Sycamore and when you play Lakota West. Take that, eat it, and embrace it. So you have that feeling that because they play Badin next year at Badin. So, like I said, Badin now has their own stadium now. And this will be the first time Hamilton plays Badin officially at Badin. And they need to take it and just eat it. Eat this, man. So the players that do come back, they should be ready. I mean, that's what you say every year, that you guys should be ready. But take this and keep going, man. Because, again, this team is talented. I have never seen a high school quarterback at Hamilton that had so much pocket presence that it just seemed like he was not worried at all. That's something. The running back, he was getting the holes open, shooting through. It's not all there yet. I mean, you have so much talent on the receivers, and the defense was playing, the O-line was playing. Double nickel. That boy, he's talented. Double nickel. 5'5". Talented. And the thing about it is that the GMC, the conference that we're playing, the hardest conference in Ohio, is up for grabs. I'm gonna put it out there. It's up for grabs for Hamilton to win, because Hamilton hasn't won a GMC since 19. I believe last night was 1997 or 98. That was a long time ago, ladies and gentlemen. And this team is loaded, man. And I know. The blue side is hurt right now because I know, like, looking at the game, and we were up 14-10, and even if they scored that first touchdown off a kickoff, like they fought back. And that's what I love about this team this year. They have character. They have every tool in the toolbox to be successful. And I hope that they take it and eat that Badin loss and take it with them, and then go up there because they play Sycamore next week. Put their hands on them, because they are so loaded. They are so loaded. So I hope that they take that L and eat it, and then show Sycamore what Big Blue's all about. But it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough because the GMC is loaded every year. Since the birth of the GMC, there's always been one dominant team. Even in the 80s, it was Princeton. The 90s, Coleraine. The early 2000s, Coleraine. And now we're at a point where it's Lakota West that is dominating. But it seems like anybody can get it. Anybody can get it if they play hard and all that stuff. And I think Hamilton, this year, I think we're loaded. And then next year, take that L, eat it, and play Badin at Badin. Just imagine that. Imagine being next year's team and they're like, hey, we have a chance to really create some history and take it to them on their field. Something that's never happened before. They just got their new stadium. Well, how great would it be for Hamilton to say, hey, we got you. And so they could be worrying about losing to Hamilton again at Badin. And one other thing I want to add about this game. I'm sick of playing Badin at Hamilton. Because it seems like every time we play them in our stadium, we lose. Now, again, mind you, they didn't have a stadium then, but 99, 2000, 23, 24, and 25. 5 times. We've lost to them 2000, 23, 25. 3 times. I just think we should just play somewhere else. Because when we played at Fairfield, we handled it. But again, could be the energy. And one last shout out for Badin. They probably have the best fans, period. They are loud. They are supportive. It's a good feeling. And again, to see them across the way, being loud, being supportive, it's what I love about the game. Like even it's a rivalry game and we don't like them, they don't like us. At the end of the day, we're all Hamilton and it's a great display of what people in Hamilton are all about. And it's fun. It is absolutely fun to see these kids go out there and play. And they're playing hard. They are playing so hard. It's a wonderful game. It's a wonderful game, and maybe next year. I don't know how many losses we can handle. I don't know. I don't know if we just admit defeat, because this one was rough, man. Because I swore up and down like Hamilton will have the talent to know about, because we're playing them consistently now. So it's like, hey, we know how talented they are and vice versa. I would have put money on it. I would have put money on Hamilton winning, but it's okay. It's all right. Eat the loss and use that as energy for the rest of the season. I mean, playing a caliber team like Badin is to get you prepped for the season. And one last thing I want to say. Can we quit playing this game on week 1? Week 1 rivalry games are weird. Are so weird to me. Could you imagine Michigan and Ohio State playing week 1? That was just awkward. Like, no. I enjoyed end of season. Heck, and then in the 80s, it was mid-season. But, that's just me as a fan. If we can get that at the end of the season where all the teams are locked and loaded and ready to go and playoffs are coming, I think that'll be a better game. But I digress. I am just a fan, and I'm looking forward to next year sitting in Badin, watching Hamilton and Badin for 2026. Before we go, I do want to talk about this young man, this running back in Talawanda, or Oxford, Ohio, to be exact. This man has gone absolutely bonkers. Why do I say that? He's the leading rusher, not in Ohio, in America. In America. This man rushed for 423 yards. Where you going, man? Where are you going? 423 yards in one game? Did they have 11 players? Obviously they did, because he went ham. Now, I want to go see this man play. And thankfully, Talawanda has 4 games in a row at home. And they got a beautiful stadium, too. So that's on my my what do you call it? My bingo sheet for 2025 to go watch this young man play football. 423 yards in one game. Is that not Madden stuff or not? That's crazy. But yeah, Hamilton players, I know you probably not going to listen to this, and that's cool. Eat the loss and come back with some ferocity. Doesn't work, ferocity? Ferociousness. There you go. Come out and play like the Hamilton players that you are, right? Whoop up on Sycamore, and then we'll talk about it next week. I'm your host of the WDYM. My name is Michael Gillespie. Go Big Blue. And I'm out, Girl Scout, Boy Scout. Peace.